Turn your hobby into cash. Make $500 a month. Make $2,000 a month. Build passive income from something you already love. Look, the dollar amount changes, but the promise usually doesn't. But almost nobody shows you the math between owning the equipment and actually earning the money. And I'm not saying hobbies can't make money, because I know they can. I've made money with two of the machines that are right here in my shop. I've also sold my photography. So yes, interest in hobbies can earn you real money. But let's take an honest look at it from the beginning. Right beside me is a Bamboo Lab filament printer that I've owned and used for some time now. I also have an X-Tool laser cutter and engraver, and I've sold things that I've made with both of them. Not quit my job money, not passive income money, but real people have paid me real dollars for things that I've made on the weekends and the evenings that I enjoy creating. So I already know that the hobby can produce income, but the more useful question is, what has to happen before that income becomes consistent, repeatable, and actually worth your time? That question came back up for me personally because I purchased this used resin printer right here for 250 bucks for my son Cody. He included the resin, gloves, alcohol, the cleanup supplies, everything I need to get started. He even included this yellow box over here to the right, which is a UV curer. Once the models are done printing, you place the models in there. You could also just put them out in the sun afterwards for the same results for free. If I bought all this new, I might be looking at 500-600 bucks. So in my case, the immediate cash investment was 250 bucks. That's a fair deal. But that's my deal, not a universal startup number. Somebody who had to buy all this stuff new and to buy the supplies separately could spend more. And when the supplies run out, replacement becomes part of the operating cost. I just ordered another bottle of resin off of Amazon. It was almost 30 bucks, 27 something. And I'm not sure how far that bottle will take me, but I'll keep you posted. But buying the machine is the easy part. A machine is not a business, a file is not a product. And something that you enjoy making is not automatically something another person wants to buy. All right, so here's a real example of how this can work, whether you're working with a laser cutter like my trusty X tool over here, or a filament or resin printer like the ones over here. I bought this digital design on Etsy for $2.49. I'm not a great designer. Designing takes me a long time, so I'm happy to pay a couple of bucks for something and just get to work on it right away. It was originally sold and marketed as a layered wooden mandala tea light holder, and the seller specifically permits commercial use of the finished product. That means I can sell the physical result. I just can't resell or distribute the digital file. That makes sense. But I didn't buy it to hold tea lights. I started making smaller versions to display gems and minerals, like this one. One of my customers is my wife's friend who owns a metaphysical store here in town. And she purchased these smaller versions from me so she can use them in her store as display items. Now she's selling them. Her daughter is getting married soon, and she realized that that same design, scaled up to 8 inches, would make a really nice centerpiece at the wedding reception. So now I'm making 10 of these for $15 a piece. 10 centerpieces at $15 each gives me $150 in revenue. Revenue, not profit. That distinction matters because the large number is usually where the side hustle thumbnail stops. I have approximately $3 in direct material in each one of these centerpieces: wood, glue, and stain. I'm not even going to mention the cost of electricity, because even my laser, which is the power hog in this shop, cost me about $1 to run for 8 hours. That said, 10 pieces, 10 of these, is about $30 in material. Subtract that from $150 and I'm at $120 before accounting for the $2.49 design file, the equipment wear, electricity, delivery taxes, or any other overhead. Each one requires about 10 minutes of hands-on time. 10 pieces is roughly 1 hour and 40 minutes of production labor. So using that hands-on time, the order generates about $72 per hour before the additional expenses that I just mentioned. It's a good order, but it does not mean I have $72 an hour business. It means I have one order with strong economics. Business requires the next order, and the order after that, and the order after that. So the laser didn't find the customer. The Etsy file didn't find the customer. This happened because I made something useful, served an existing customer, and she recognized another use for the same product. In fact, most sales I have made have been with other businesses where I was first a customer myself, and through the natural course of conversation, they would ask what kind of things I made, which led to a sale. Restaurants, bars, realtors, Small boutiques are great places to find customers. And of course, there's always Etsy, eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and so on. But that may be the most valuable part of this whole example. I didn't need to invent an entirely new product. You find a pain point and you fix it. Or you make I didn't need to invent an entirely new product. You find a pain point and you fix it. Or make something super unique. When I first got the laser, I wanted to make things I hadn't seen yet. I was an early adapter to the tech, and I started selling at craft fairs with my wife, who's a talented seamstress. Very quickly, I noticed that laser cutting and engraving booths were becoming more and more popular. But most of them sold the same stuff: the fidget toys, the 3D printed dragons, engraved cutting boards, all that stuff. And I live in a rural community, so I wanted to consider what might sell well to the folks in my community, the community of farmers and ranchers. I didn't want to sell what everyone else was selling. So I decided to grab some old pallets and start making signage with sayings or animals on them. The wood was free. I found free images or royalty free images online, or images that I took with my own camera that I could use and sell commercially. I started making things like, hold on, let me go grab it. All right, so I started making things like this. 100 bucks, almost zero cost, and maybe an hour of my time, probably less, because I would make several of these at one time and then run them through the laser engraver while I did other things. And then after they were done, I would stain them. That's it. And it's cool. People dug them. Nobody's seen anything like it. What I'm saying is this: think outside of the box. If you're going to be selling locally and you're in Chicago, you're probably not selling as many of the bison, horse, or cowboy sayings as I do here in the Southwest. Know your audience. In my previous example, one expensive design off of Etsy became several sizes, served one niche, and then niche, you tell me, and then moved into a completely different use because a customer showed me the opportunity. Now compare that with the resin printer. I have the equipment and I have the supplies, but I don't have a proven product. I don't have a proven customer or a proven process that I can calculate what a print cost is. What I cannot honestly calculate yet is dependable monthly income. Before this becomes income, I need four things. I need something worth buying, I need an identifiable customer, and enough margin to justify the work, and a way to repeat the sale. Without those, the monthly income number is just multiplication built on a guess. That's the part most hobby income advice gets backwards. It starts with the dream number and works backwards towards the project. The honest way is to start with one real customer, one real product, and one real transaction, and then determine whether the process can be repeated. A hobby becomes an income when your skill meets a real customer need, not when you buy another machine, not when you download a file, and it's definitely not when somebody puts $2,500 a month on a fucking thumbnail. I don't know yet whether the resin printer will earn back the 250 bucks I paid for it. If it does, I will show you the numbers. If it doesn't, I'll show you that too. Either result is more useful than pretending the answer is guaranteed. One thing I do know: these prints take time. I have a skull sitting on the shelf over here. Let me grab it. So I use this for my hearing and eye protection because I think it's cool. This skull took about 8 hours to print and cost me about $9 in filament. Plus, I spent a little time and money painting it. Otherwise, it would have been stark white and looked funky. Now, obviously, I didn't sit there for 8 hours watching the machine print, but real labor was about an hour, including the painting. But keep in mind, the printer is tied up during that print. Let me put this down. But here's what most people don't keep in mind: the printer is tied up during that 8 hour print. So I'm not making anything else that I can sell while that's happening. If you think you're going to replace your day job with one printer, the math simply does not support that, no matter what you're making. You'd need a print farm, several products printing at once. But first, what are you going to make? If you're good at CAD and you can design stuff, you can create your own files, which is even better because you can sell those files in addition to the finished product. Some of the items I've had success selling are signage for local businesses, gem and mineral holders like the ones that I just showed you, specialty tools for tradespeople like dust collectors, gifts, jewelry boxes, personalized signs for people's homes. People are happy to pay more for something if it's personalized. My advice to you is, if you want to take this seriously as a side hustle or even a full-time job, do a few things really well and focus there. You only get better as time goes on, and you might start adding more machines to your workflow. Because whether you're translating a job skill or trying to earn money from something you already enjoy, the principle is the same. Don't sell yourself a fantasy. Find the value, test the math, and train for whatever gap there is. For me, there's going to be a pretty big gap on this machine because I've never worked with resin printers before, but I'll figure it out. And please tell me in the comments if you already have a side hustle or if you've turned one of these machines into a full-time job. I really want to hear about it. Look, thanks for watching to the end, and please give me a like and subscribe if you found any of this interesting. But no matter what, stay curious and always endeavor to persevere. We'll see you on the next one.